Awesome. Well, we are going to go into this is my favorite one actually. Is Kazu Zhin, who speaks in Japanese. Like, if you watch the show, he's always speaking in Japanese to everyone. They just understand him. And, he plays guitar. He's kind of a, you know, like the cool, I don't know, just overall cool guy, right? But Kazu fits in really well, especially with the sword. And this is your level 24 unlock, folks. So, yeah.
Yeah, you'll see in a second, but the effects Rollin put on the sword here, I think makes this my favorite first-person weapon out of the crossover skins.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I really like the elf skin that we did for him before, but this is actually might give me a run for my money as far as what I use when I play him. Just because, as Brett, as you mentioned, like the sword just looks, I don't know. It reminds me of those the futuristic, the nano cutter, the nano sword kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like its presentation on screen is just so slick too, because it's just like this. It's like there's a classic thin steel sword, but the effects Rowan put on it really bump it up above and beyond. And I think it has like a little bit of like, I think you could see it on Cammy's daggers too, where it had this a little bit of like a trailing effect on it. But you'll see once we get in here, but it has that same type of feel too, which really just makes it fun to run around as Zhin and swing this thing.
Something that's interesting about this skin in particular is that its voice pack is entirely in Japanese. That was an interesting hurdle that we had to tackle, as we generally don't do that, but it should be interesting.
And I think there's certain ways that you can still understand what your teammate's saying, I believe, too, Nico.
Yeah, the text in the bottom in your chat box will still be English or whatever language you have, but the voice line itself is Japanese.
Oh yeah, these effects, you weren't kidding, Brett.
Yeah, it makes this so cool.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. They really knocked it out of the park with this one. It's absolutely beautiful. Am I allowed to call Kazu Zhin? Am I allowed to call him beautiful?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
All right.
It's gorgeous.
Oh. He's got a flaunt it.
That whirl.
All right, we're gonna see the ultimate here. Dang, very cool.
Yeah,
I love those trails that we leave behind when we swing.
Yeah, the effects are incredible. Shoutouts to Rollin.
Let's see his voice pack.
Sugoi.
これは真夜中までやってるゲーム中毒野郎のためだな。グッドラック。楽しんでな。最高だった。俺は最強だな。敵は後ろにいるぞ。すげえ。くそ。オッケー。ありがと
う。All right. ありがとう。
ちょっとしたウォーミングアップだ。
That's awesome. I'm glad we were able to go that route on that.
Yeah, it's so true to the character in the show, so it's lovely to see. And then our last level 30. Okay, so this event pass goes crossover pass goes to level 30, and your final unlock will be Yasmin, Lex. So this is a first for us. We I think Smite's done it before for skins, but we haven't yet. Is where we make a male character and put a lady character on it using that rig. I assume there were some challenges with this because Lex in general has more of a stocky kind of body, and you probably had to alter that, I assume, Brett, to kind of make it work, for a feminine kind of figure. I know Smite, I actually believe Smite had that issue with making some of their, I think they did like Ruby, and when they did that, they had a character that was a woman over a male rig. So
Yeah, a lot of it is solved down towards the concept and character modeling end of the pipeline, where if they can get the character sheet and the model to essentially follow the proportions of the original character as best as possible, then that really minimizes any changes that need to be made to the rig and animation down on our end. And they did a great job kind of fitting Yasmin to Lex's proportions and his rig.
And this is different from like say to like when you're working with human anatomy from then say when we did Pepper Pimp, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
This is going to require more work, right?
Yeah, so for situations like Pip and Pepper, like we'll end up having to make some things new and have them be overrides so that when you're playing as Pepper, they play instead of old Pip animations. But for Yasmin, we tried to get them riding as much of Lex as possible. I know one of the things Caitlin, our animators, did was for this first-person reloads, because the gun no longer follows Lex's crystal-based guns. We had to make a new reload since I think it's Lex's original ones open up and vent heat. So we just have to come up with new animations for that. But yeah, a lot of work gets solved before it even reaches animation, which is great for us, and we really appreciate the work other departments do. And then we'll do spot checks and make any overrides needed to accommodate that.
I'm getting serious like Magnum vibes from these guns, which is what's my favorite part of the skin.
Yeah, I like that they feel heavy, like when you feel them shoot, like powerful.
Don't stand a chance.
Also, before we listen to the voice lines, I wanted to give a shout out to the voice actress for this skin, Lauren, who was super excited to be part of the Paladins universe. You know, they had a good friend who passed recently, so this is also for you, Mike. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, big shout outs. Love the work that you did. The voice pack too just sounds amazing. So she crushed it. So
Hearing yes.
Calling it the Union is like calling an execution the freedom. Focus on the goal, just like the ether. Are you even trying to keep up? I've heard a lot about you. Woo-hoo. That is not good. I've seen Union children scarier than you.
very nice. And
Enemies behind us!
I think we have some sprays there too. Are there any that we didn't look at yet that you have loaded there? Oh, there we go. That we didn't see that one yet. That one's Valentina's. Very cool. I love the sound effects they put on those as well. We saw that one earlier. That's Chases. Some of these will be available, folks, to you not only in the Event Pass, but also via Trials of the Realm.